All right, Bitcoin is on a path to 400,000, and Plan B says we're not even halfway through the bull run yet. So today we're diving into the latest breakdown from Plan B, creator of the famous stock to flow model, who's now doubling down on his bull market predictions for Bitcoin. We'll examine the stock to flow model, RSI levels, and a couple other key quotes from Plan B. So stay tuned. Feeling that meme coin FOMO kick in, like you missed out on Doge and SHIB and watching Trump soar to number 2? Don't miss your next shot at flipping the script. Flapjacks is more than a meme. It's deflationary, sticky, and community built with utility. Don't wait for FOMO to set in. Stack your gains now at flapjacks.xyz. Hey guys, welcome back. Drip Coach here with G.mp4 for Poverty, where we don't trust, we verify, and operate with integrity and transparency. I think it's been a while since I've pulled up some info from Plan B. I try to do it every month. He puts this out usually within like the first week of the month to give his analysis on how the previous month ended, because his stock to flow model is looking at, I want to say it's monthly indicators. So it's always, it projects forward, but one of his key phrases, catchphrases he's coined is that all models are wrong, some are useful. So this is to me just another tool in the toolbox to make your analysis. As I said, surround yourself with those smarter than you, been studying the craft longer than you, and have bigger bags that they're putting up so that you can swim with the whales and make the same moves. And he's just one of the ones that I listen to alongside like Gareth Soloway and Raoul Powell, Jack Mallers, Michael Saylor. There's a whole bunch of them out there, right? So this one will break down a couple of key points where he basically was spot on. And this is where, again, I was making my thesis previously saying the bull market was still ongoing, even though others were calling that it had come and gone, so to speak, and that 109 was the top. But he breaks down that couldn't have been more wrong.
Welcome to PlanB's on YouTube. So Bitcoin had a V-shaped recovery.
Sorry about that. That is way too fast. Maybe some of you understood that.
Welcome to PlanB on YouTube. So Bitcoin had a V-shaped recovery after all. Bitcoin jumped from 82K end of March to 94K end of April. And now, as we speak, it's at 104K. So this V-shaped recovery is a bull market sign.
So that means that we are still going up from here, reference to Plan B. So his colored dots is basically kind of how he makes these charts identifiable to us normies who don't understand all this other stuff. But basically, if we would have not had this V-shaped recovery and another red dot, and we would have gone like yellow or green, then that would have indicated to him that things are going bearish. It's not this particular chart, this is about the halving, but it's in another chart that'll show up later on that basically represents where we are and what made him call that 82K. And I think we got down as low as 77K, but the monthly close was at 82. We got all the way down. No, we got all the way down to 74 because I bought some at 74. But the monthly close, I think, was 82, 84, somewhere in there. But either way, we have since bounced up from that. So we're not sure what the next level will be. I believe I've heard some saying it'll be like in the 120 to 150 range. That would make sense psychologically, but we'll have to see how that plays out.
Bitcoin is 2 times as scarce as gold, but gold is 10 times more worth than Bitcoin. So Bitcoin remains super undervalued, in my opinion. So many.
That to me is a very heavy hitting sort of statement that people don't really acknowledge. And if you're into macroeconomics, then you know scarcity drives value. And it's kind of also the argument that some people will say is like, yeah, what is Bitcoin's use case? What is its value or whatever? Well, as I heard somebody else stating, it's like, yeah, what's the value of Babe Ruth rookie card, Mickey Mantle rookie card, any kind of collectibles, paint, fine art, wine, whatever. It doesn't matter. Anything in the collectible realm, especially if the person has passed away or they were limited production numbers of them, they're scarce, and that's what makes them valuable. People want to collect it. So just collecting in and of itself makes this valuable. So let's just say that Bitcoin was only a digital collectible, like an NFT is supposed to be. Well, it is one of the most scarce and widely distributed collectibles out there, but you can already leverage it and get a loan out against it. So that means other institutions are willing to back that, which means they see it as a store of value as well. It means it's legitimate collateral. No different than if you were going to a pawn shop with something and say, hey, I want to pawn this gold ring or bracelet or Rolex watch. I need some money real quick. The person taking that into custody goes, all right, it's worth XYZ. I'll give you this for it. If you don't pay it back, we're keeping it. We'll sell it. That means we can pay off the loan what we sell as collateral for. And many banks, entities, companies, countries have recognized Bitcoin as more than just a collectible. It is indeed a store of value, and it does have collateral they're willing to give you a loan against. So we've already exceeded that global adoption. And if you're sitting on the sidelines, then holy shit, man, I have no idea what to tell you, because it's only up from here in a long enough time horizon. So again, Bitcoin being drawn that parallel to gold, like Plan B said, it's 2 times more scarce, but yet it's 10x undervalued. So do the math. At a minimum, it should reach gold's market cap, which is around 20 some odd trillion. And if it's twice as scarce, that's a $40 trillion asset just by its properties. So 40 trillion from here, that puts Bitcoin at a $2 million price tag. So you're not bullish enough. Like, that's just putting it simply for things that, you know, we can quantify. Let's go to the next clip here.
Own Bitcoin groups. Now, if we look at RSI, the relative strength index, currently it's at 66, and that's around the average RSI level of 65, the dark area here, the black area, and it has been around that average for more than a year now. In my opinion, how I read this chart is that Bitcoin spent a couple of years below that average of 65, and from now on it will stay 1 or more years above the 65 average. In fact, I think we will see 80 plus RSI months again, at least 4 of them, just like in the bull markets in 2021, in 2017, and in 2013. So I think.
And with that, that's where we get this kind of 400K prediction, at least 250K somewhere in there, because typically with the RSI above the 60s and hitting the 80 range, as he said, like you see here, and having 4 months of those, that typically means 40+% returns monthly. So you do the math on that. I haven't done it right now. I don't feel like it, but just from 100K to 140K, and then adding another 42K on that, that's 182K. That's just 2 months. Then what is that? 36, another 72. So that'd be like 250K just by the 3rd month of having this RSI plus 80. And that's where you get this banana zone phase 2, as Raoul Powell said. So hitting that 250K range would put us at about the 3rd to 4th month of the RSI above 80. Then what we could see is what we see here, and Raoul Powell said this as well, where you get a drawdown, and this is where people say it's all over, the bull market's over, and then it could go back up. Same as here, and we didn't see it here, so not back above. But you see these orange dots, lighter orange, whatever you want to call that, are above the previous one. And this one's in line with it. So we could see that again, or should theoretically see that again. That's the Raoul Powell everything code thesis, where we will have this massive run up and everybody will think it's over because it'll start to draw back down. But even if we get to around 250K, you see a 50K correction, a 50% correction, that's putting Bitcoin back at 125. So you're still being able to get a bargain right now. And I have no idea what it will correct. I'm in the camp of believing the corrections will be less volatile. We had a 30% this year, which is in line with the others. So we haven't seen anything over 40 yet, but we'll see how this plays out. So I made the statement a couple months back about saying by the end of second quarter, which is coming up in another, 7 weeks, we'll be at the end of June, or beginning of June, I should say. Yeah, about 4 weeks. We should find out Bitcoin should be above previous all-time highs. So we're heading in that direction.
Prices. Realized cost prices. If you look at the overall realized price, that's the black line, including all the coins, including 1 million Satoshi coins that are basically counted at 0. That's at 45K right now, up from 44. The 2-year realized price, more of a medium-term indicator, I find it very useful. It's up from 75 to 77,000. And the 5-month realized price of short-term buyers is 92 right now. It's up from 91 last month. And Bitcoin, the red dot, is above them all. So all the realized prices are going up again, up, and the Bitcoin price is above all the realized prices. Well, that's how we want to see it. That's also a sign of a bull market.
Now, for those of us who aren't traders, this is a mic drop moment for traders because that's what they call confluence. When short-term, medium-term, and long-term holders are all in profit and price is trending above these metrics, that is a huge bullish catalyst for certain. So as he stated, the realized price, this is all of the tokens or coins in circulation, including the unmoved Satoshi coins, over 1 million of those. Then the 2-year, the blue line, and the 5-month, the yellow line. So this means for the most part, everybody is in profit, except for if you would have bought the top at the 110 range, then unfortunately, yeah, you're down still, but you're not far off. So Bitcoin right now being above all 3 of those indicators, again, that is bullish. So let's go to our last clip here where he's talking about price and kind of what I gave the quick and dirty backup napkin math with no napkin. So if it was wrong, you guys can grill me in the comments.
All right. And now it's RSI. So RSI is 66, but I expect at least 4 months of high 80 plus RSIs, like all the past bull markets. And it can be 5 or 8 or 6 of those months, but let's say conservatively it's 4 80 plus RSI months. That will bring us to Bitcoin to $400,000. Now then, that's not far away from the stock to flow 500,000 average, which can be seen as a target based on fundamentals, scarcity fundamentals. All right, as always, almost.
There you go. So it's just math if you get that many months in a row. Now, again, that's not guaranteed. It's not saying it can't go higher, can't go lower, but as he said, that's just 4 months with a RSI in the 80 range and using that average 40% return that you see with RSIs of that value. So just for the math sake, so you can see it on chain, there you have it, 1 month, 40%, 40 more percent, 40 more. By the 5th month in a row, you're breaking that $500K value. 4 months in a row, you're at 384. So that is like, just think about that in simplicity terms. Right now, we're sitting at May. That means by the end of the year, you can see a $500,000 Bitcoin price. That's how quickly this thing can move. And I'm not saying this can happen, but it's just to show you what has happened historically. And these are conservative numbers. Remember, these are using averages. So this is like the previous video I made about Michael Saylor. For every Satoshi you're not stacking, you're losing. It's unrealized losses, of course, because you haven't made that kind of purchase or anything like that. But just think about that. Like, if you're not trying to scrape all your pennies together now, you could literally miss out on this opportunity. And even if it doesn't do that, you're going to be better off by still scraping your pennies together and getting every Satoshi that you can right now, because we know on a long enough time horizon this is going up. It's already been approved. It is a global asset. Countries have already decided that it is unseizable, untariffable, and the governments can't take it away from you. You can take that in your head and die with it if you want to. You can transport it across the borders. Nobody knows you have it, so it's just something to think about. It is literally freedom money, and you should be trying to do everything in your power to stack as many sats as possible, because everybody else is stacking against you. All right, that's all I got. Smash that HBO Spectrum, help brother out, like, subscribe, comment down below, and until next time, live daily and achieve your possible. See ya.